Hey there, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and I'm in the car headed down to one of my favorite LCSs in the Baltimore area, Third Eye Comics. You guys know that I do most of my new comic book buying down there because they have a bunch of different locations and they buy a lot of inventory of new comics. And that means that they can buy a lot of variant copies and things like that. So that's usually why I choose them for New Comic Book Day. But this is not a New Comic Book Day. This is actually a Saturday morning here in the Baltimore area, and what a gorgeous morning. But why am I running down on a Saturday morning? Well, here we are. It's already in June now, and during the complete month of May, starting with the first Saturday in May when you had Free Comic Book Day being celebrated, Third Eye Comics did a promotion. Let me see if I can do this while I'm driving. They had a flyer here, and on one side they were advertising their Scott Snyder signing, but on the back side, if you took this flyer and you had it checked off every Saturday in the month of May, starting with the Free Comic Book Day at the very beginning of the month, you would get free comics. You'd come in on a Saturday, you'd end up picking up, on that first Saturday, you pick up the free comic books that they put out, and then on each of the other Saturdays, they did different themes. The second Saturday, it was a superhero theme. You could pick up a different superhero type book that they had laid out. They had different ones they had put out for you. The third month, it was a science fiction type comic book. And then the last week in May, it was more of a kids comic type of thing. Well, I came down each week in May and I ended up picking up free comics each week. But the goal on that really was, the soft promotion of that was to be able to get this signed off and then bring it down here at the first week in June. So you guys know this is June 1. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out because I'm so backlogged on some of the episodes that this may take a little while to get out. But I'm going down. So what they're doing is, if you take this flyer in now, you can get a free graphic novel. And I saw on their social media before I came down today, before I left today, they've got a whole table of all kinds of graphic novels. And to be quite honest, they buy so much stuff, so I'm sure the inventory is going to be huge. I don't know if you can pick up just any free graphic novel, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much what it's going to be. They're also running a 15% discount on all these graphic novels. I'm sure their backlog and their inventory is just huge, and that's why they do these sales like this. So we're going to run down and we're going to pick up a graphic novel, and we're going to see what else that we can pick up. So I might, if I have time this morning, because this is still a Saturday and it's still a work day for me. If I have time, I'll do some filming inside the store, and I'll do a walkthrough of the store, hopefully, and I will show off some of Third Eye Comics. I haven't done this in a while. Usually when I do these these new comic book days on Wednesdays, I focus on the new comic books, and that's about it. That's about all the time I really have for that. But today, if I've got a few extra minutes after I pick up the graphic novels, I'll walk around the store and take some footage of the store, and you can get an idea of what the main location for Third Eye Comics is like down here in Annapolis, Maryland. So sit back, enjoy some of the footage, and I will be back in just a little bit. right, everybody, I just finished up at Third Eye Comics here in Annapolis, Maryland for a free graphic novel day. And I ended up going in, and there was a ton of people, and there were a ton of people around the free graphic novel table. And it was hard to get in there, but I finally got in and got to go through a few piles. There was a lot of stuff that didn't seem that interesting, and it was going to be too hard to go through every pile there. In fact, the people were just standing there and going through them, and you couldn't hardly get in there. And I picked up the first graphic novel that I found kind of interesting that I wanted to read. I just picked up that, and I was done with that part. But today gave me a chance to go around the rest of the store and shoot a lot of the other stuff that's in this location. And as you can tell from the footage, and I hope you enjoyed that footage, that they have a ton of stuff. I mean, I come here for the new comic books just about every Wednesday, and they buy so many new comic books for this location and the other locations that they're able to get a lot of the ratios and the variants and things like that. So that always makes this a good choice for new comic book day. But you can tell by the rest of the store, it is just absolutely packed with pop culture type things related to comics, anime. It's just fantastic. You've got toys, Funkos, you've got novelty items, you've got supplies, the new comics that I mentioned. You've got some back issues. You've got a key issue back issue wall right there that has some good back issues, some good keys that you can always pick up. You got I might have mentioned statues. They've got plush toys. They've got young adult sections. They've got young kids sections, and supplies. I mean, yeah, they've got just a little bit of everything, but especially new comics, they're loaded. And they're also loaded with the trade paperbacks. I don't think I shot enough footage of all the trade paperbacks and hardbacks that they've got, but just a wonderful store. Now, they were offering on this Saturday, they were offering a 15% off of any other graphic novel. Now, I've got other LCSs that do a much better discount on those, and they run those periodically. So I didn't pick up any other graphic novels today, and I will usually save that for one of the other LCSs. But still a great time down there, and I ended up picking up, like I said, my free graphic novel, but I ended up picking up a few other new issues, new comic books that were on the stands. So once I get home, I'm going to sit down and I'll bag and board the comics, and I will show off everything I picked up. Again, I hope you enjoyed all that footage, and stay tuned, and I'll be right back, and we'll wrap this up for today.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, everybody, I made it back from Third Eye Comics on this Saturday. I had a great time going there and was able to spend a lot more time than I do on a normal new comic book day. This was the free graphic novel day. If you, as I explained earlier, if you brought in that flyer to them and had it and went every Saturday in May to pick up a free comic book every day, every Saturday of the month, and had that checklist checked off, you bring it in the first Saturday in June, and you could get a free graphic novel. And as you saw from the footage, there was a small table. It wasn't a lot of great graphic novels there, and boy, the people were on top of that, going through them, and it was hard to find anything that you really, really wanted. It was surprisingly, it was a smaller sampling than I expected. But I ended up picking up something, and then I spent some time in the store. I hope you enjoyed that footage that I did from inside the store. It gives you an idea of everything that they've got there at Third Eye Comics. I really probably didn't even do it justice. Again, this is their main location, their flagship station, as you will. Some of the other stores that I've been to are not quite as big, but they still have a variety of the same kinds of things that you find at the main location. So if you're ever in the Annapolis, Baltimore, DC area, definitely stop by and give them a chance, and hopefully you'll do that. But as I said, I went down there for the free graphic novel, and then just to take a look around and get some footage, and that way I can give you guys a good showing of what it's like. So let's just start with the graphic novel I picked up. Again, I just got in there, and once I was able to get a foothold on that table, I went through a few things. I couldn't even go through everything because you couldn't even move. And I found something quickly that was like, okay, fine, just get a graphic novel and get out of there. But this is something that interested me, mostly because I like these characters and I want to know more about them. And I wasn't reading these comics at the time. So I picked this up. It is the Black Order, and these are the Warlords of Thanos characters. You saw them in some of them in the Infinity Saga with the MCU. The one character they didn't bring in was the Black Swan, which is probably my favorite character. When they introduced that character with the whole idea of the worlds colliding, what is that called? I want to call it inclusion. That's not right. The worlds were imploding. The whole storyline, I can't even remember now, but I remember there was a Steve Epting artwork that was just fantastic, and a character was so gorgeous that I wanted to know more about that character, and she's part of this Black Order as well. Anyway, I got this. We're gonna sit down, and this is going to be an enjoyable read, I hope, and I'll learn a little bit more about some of these characters. But while I was there, I also picked up some, I wouldn't say brand new comic books. Well, I take it back. I'm looking at what I picked up. Yes, there were two from the previous New Comic Book Day that I picked up. I swore I wasn't going to get this one at the time. In fact, in my last video about New Comic Book Day, I said I wasn't going to pick up any of the variants, but I went ahead just because it is so god awful. It is the Wolverine number 50 with the Frank Miller variant. I don't know what's going on. Frank's getting old, and maybe this is the way he's drawing these days. I don't know, but all these covers that he's been putting out, no one's liked anything. Although I've seen the new Uncle Scrooge cover. It hasn't come out yet, but I've seen that, and people were poo-pooing on that as well, and I kind of like that. But this isn't bad. This is not as bad as that other Logan cover that he did. But still, I went ahead and picked that up more as a novelty than anything. And I also picked up the second issue of Boom Studios' The Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. I was a big monster fan back in grade school, and one of my favorite Universal monsters was the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know if it was the character design or what, but I always enjoyed that character. So I picked up the first issue in one of the New Comic Book Days when it came out a month ago. So second issue had just come out. I went ahead and picked that up. I didn't do it on New Comic Book Day because I was like, I don't want to. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. But I went ahead and picked this up, and I'm going to go ahead and read that. And then I got a chance when I was shooting around the store, I was looking at all the previous new comics that they have on that giant wall of new comics that they keep. I mean, some of the cases, you can find a year's worth of new comic books still on the stands, not bagged and boarded yet. But this one wasn't a year old, but it was the second printing to X-Men 97 number 2, but it's got this awesome Rogue and Gambit cover. This is pretty hot. This has showed up on some of the cover price top 10 lists recently because of the cover and for what happened in the X-Men 97 animated show that just wrapped up first season. And this cover right there was pretty hot. They had several copies of this left, and I was going to pick up multiple, but you see this dark cover. The back side is also very dark and very black, and picks up ticks, color spine ticks real easy. And I ended up putting all of them back except for this one. This one was probably the best copy there. Could use a little clean and press, a little bit of a press, but it's free of the. Generally, it's free of the color-breaking spine ticks, but I'm not thinking about getting this graded anytime soon, but it is a cool cover to have in your PC. But that's it. Quick video today, just a slice of life kind of comic book, of the comic book hobby for me. This wasn't New Comic Book Day. This wasn't a big comic book haul, but it was a fun Saturday morning to run down to one of my favorite LCSs here in the Baltimore area. And guys, if you don't get the idea, I actually do go to other LCSs. I just go for them for other reasons. Most of the other ones that I go to on a regular basis have better back issue bins, and that's why I go to them instead of Third Eye. Third Eye I go for mostly the new comic books. And I save the other ones for when they have these big sales and they've got big giant keys and good back issues. Third Eye does back issues, but it's more limited. I'll put it that way. You can still find some good back issues there, but it's more limited than the other LCSs in the area. And I feel like I'm a shill for Third Eye because I do so many videos on them, but that's because we got new comic books coming out each and every week, and I'm down there trying to pick up some of the new stuff. So it's easy content, but again, this channel is all about a slice of life on the different ways to be a comic book fan in this hobby. So that's about it for today. If you like this kind of content, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know about the books I picked up today. And if you've ever been to Third Eye Comics, I'd love to know about it. So that's it. I'm out of here. You guys have a great day. And remember, every comic has a story.